All right, let's talk about it. The elephant in the room, AI. How do you not just survive, but actually thrive in a world where it's advancing at a dizzying pace? Well, today we're laying out a concrete blueprint for reinventing your career and really taking control of your future.
So here it is, the big question on everyone's mind. And yeah, it can feel a little unnerving. But what if I told you this is actually the wrong question to be asking? What if the real threat isn't the technology at all?
Look, the biggest risk you're facing isn't some super smart AI. It's producing work that is, mediocre but adequate. The kind of stuff that gets the job done but has no unique signature, no special insight. That's the stuff that's easy to automate. The solution? It's simple. Make yourself non-replaceable.
So here's our game plan, our blueprint. It's got 6 parts. We're going to start by really understanding the threat, then we'll build a strategy. Redefining your value, shifting your mindset, using AI as your staff, deepening those human connections, and finally, protecting the time to make it all happen.
Okay, let's kick things off here. The bar for what counts as valuable work has been permanently raised. In this new AI age, just following the steps to get a standard result, that's not going to cut it anymore. The baseline for valuable work is rising, and it is rising fast.
Just look at this shift. We're moving away from a world that rewarded routine tasks and standard cookie-cutter outputs. The future demands original analysis, work that is distinctly yours, and real, creative problem-solving. It's a fundamental move from just executing to actively creating value.
And these are those mediocre but adequate tasks in the wild. Routine reports, boilerplate emails, simple graphics. Basically anything that's based on a template or a predictable formula is now vulnerable. Just take a second and be honest with yourself. Does any of this look familiar in your day-to-day work?
Okay, so that's the problem. How do we fix it? Well, it all starts with the single most critical step. You have to consciously redefine the value that you bring to the table and make yourself indispensable.
Here is your 30-day action plan. First, be brutally honest with yourself and list out all those routine tasks. Now, here comes the creative part. Pick a couple of them and completely reinvent them. Inject your unique analysis, a creative visual, or an insight that only you could come up with.
Make this quote your new quality standard. Seriously, for just one of your regular tasks, maybe it's a weekly report or a client update, challenge yourself to produce something that makes the person reading it think, wow, there's no way an AI could have done this. That is the new benchmark for truly human work.
Now, a super powerful tool for this is what's called a change statement. Stop describing your tasks, start defining your impact. So instead of saying, I analyze data, it becomes, I turn messy production data into clear decisions that save the plant real money. You feel the difference? It fundamentally changes how you and everyone else sees your value.
This leads us to a crucial mindset shift, and there's a really powerful metaphor for it. Are you a cog or are you a chef? Think about it. A cook or a cog just follows the recipe. They execute the process. But a chef improves the recipe. They propose experiments. They document better ways of doing things. You have a choice here, and it's time to start acting like the chef. And you can start this in just 2 weeks. Propose one small, low-risk experiment to improve some standard process. Measure the impact. Did it save time, reduce errors? Then start a little recipe notebook to document what you're learning. This is how you make your value visible and shareable.
So once you're thinking like a chef, how do you handle the actual technology? It's time to stop seeing AI as your competition and start seeing it as your new junior staff. This is such a critical mental flip. If you see AI as a competitor, it just leads to fear and resistance. But if you see it as junior staff, well, that creates leverage and focus. You're not competing with it, you're directing it. You let it handle the first draft, and then you upgrade it with your unique human judgment.
So how do you manage this new staff? Easy. Delegate all that mediocre but adequate work. First drafts of emails, reports, outlines. Build yourself a set of 3 to 5 reusable prompts for your most common tasks. And most importantly, be intentional. Decide which parts of a project are for the AI and which parts absolutely require your deep human touch.
Delegating to AI frees you up to focus on the things it just can't do. And that brings us to doubling down on the skills that are uniquely human, things like empathy, trust, and building genuine connection.
This should be your goal in every single human interaction, not just to close the ticket or finish the task, but to create a small emotional outcome. You want the other person to walk away feeling truly understood, feeling seen.
That is a level of connection an AI simply cannot replicate.
And you don't have to do this alone. In fact, collaboration is a huge strategic advantage. Over the next month or so, build your tribe. Find a small group of peers to share challenges and experiments with. Create a space where you can all learn faster together by sharing what actually works.
All right. Finally, none of this, becoming a chef, managing AI, building a tribe, none of it is possible without focused time. So our final section is about how to ruthlessly protect the space you need for that deep, valuable work.
This number, 60 to 90, this should become your new non-negotiable. Block out 60 to 90 minutes on your calendar, most days of the week. And you have to treat this time as sacred. No email, no meetings. This is the time for the deep, creative work that makes you non-replaceable. And protecting that time means you have to get better at saying no. This script right here is your tool. It's respectful, it's firm, and it frames your no in terms of your commitment to quality on another important project. It's not about being unhelpful, it's about being effective. And there you have it. By shifting from a cog to a chef, by leveraging AI as your staff, and by deepening your human connections, you've built a powerful blueprint for your career. You're no longer just following the recipe, you're the one writing it.
So the blueprint is yours. The only thing left to do is to take that first step. Out of everything we've covered today, what is the one change, the one small experiment that you will commit to making this week?